2023 has been a great year in terms of movie releases, so I decided to rank my top 10 movies of the year so far. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with some honorable mentions, just outside my top 10, in 12th place, I got Evil Dead Rise. And in 11th place, Talk to Me, two horror movies that I really enjoy. In 10th place, I have Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, a very divisive film when this came out. People either loving this or considering this among Anderson's worst films. And for me, I kind of hold it in the middle. I really enjoyed this, but it's far from Anderson's best, in my opinion. Fantastic Mr. Fox and Grand Budapest Hotel just are on a different level for me. But Asteroid City was fantastic. It had a stellar cast. Jason Schwartzman and ScarJo had some fantastic performances. The plot was great. Overall, a very enjoyable watch for me. In 9th place, I have Nimona. This was by far the biggest surprise I've watched this year. This was a movie I didn't even know about until I saw that it just came out on Netflix. And when I gave it a watch, I absolutely fell in love with this. The animation is beautiful. The story is great. I love that it doesn't pander towards younger audiences. It got dark when it needed to be, and that's just what's so great about this. I'll give it a rewatch, and I honestly think on a rewatch this could go from a 4 to a 4.5. In 8th place, I have Makoto Shinkai's Suzume, another fantastic animated piece. I had the absolute pleasure of watching this in IMAX. Just brought out the best of this film. The animation is fantastic. The score is probably the highlight of this film. I was listening to it for like a week straight after watching this movie. It's just that good. Definitely Makoto Shinkai's magnum opus. Just takes everything great about his previous films and puts it into this one. This is another film I'm absolutely due for a rewatch on. In 7th place, I have Bottoms. I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I would. From the trailers, I thought it was going to be pretty corny, but this movie was hilarious. Probably the funniest movie of the year for me. This movie probably would have been so much worse if the jokes just didn't hit, but they hit, and I absolutely loved it. Rachel Sano and Ayo Edebiri were great. The chemistry was just fantastic between them and the rest of the cast. Just an absolute blast of a watch. In 6th place, I have John Wick Chapter 4. Easily one of the best pure action films of the decade. Just a blast to watch. Just action-packed, adrenaline pumping, had you at the edge of your seat throughout the entirety of this. Just love this movie. Into my top 5, I have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Tom Cruise is just an absolute maniac for what he's doing here, bro. But it is amazing to watch this stuff on the big screen. Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie just know how to make action movies, spy movies. One of the most thrilling Mission Impossible movies in the franchise. I would still definitely take Fallout over this, but this movie definitely set up Dead Reckoning Part 2 brilliantly. I am so excited for that film. In 4th place, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an emotional conclusion to the Guardians trilogy, to their movies. Also, this is basically James Gunn's farewell to the MCU as he's going on to Marvel. This film definitely brought some hope back to Marvel for me, as it's one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion. But also, this is just James Gunn's work, so I don't know if we're going to get to see more of this later on, but just a fantastic movie. 3rd place, I have Celine Song's Past Lives. I absolutely love this movie. An emotional movie about two childhood friends reuniting. I love that it doesn't fall into the normal tropes with this type of story, and it just did its own thing that was so natural and raw. Just a beautiful and emotional story that definitely brought a tear or two to my eye. At my number 2 spot, I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie left me speechless the first time I watched it. So shocked that I needed to watch it 2 more times within a span of a week. Still left me shocked. This is one of the best animated projects I've ever seen. One of the biggest animated projects ever. Set up Beyond the Spider-Verse so well. Probably my most anticipated project of all time, I would say. I don't think anything else comes close with how well this film was. If Beyond the Spider-Verse is just as good as this one, there is potential this could be the greatest trilogy of all time. And at my number one spot, I have Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. I don't even know what to say about this film that hasn't already been said. This was easily one of the best theater experiences I've had in a while. This film is devastating, brutal, adrenaline pumping. Trinity scene might be one of the best scenes of the year. The score is easily the best of the year. Ludwig went absolutely nuts. And I think this is Christopher Nolan's best film, in my opinion. This is Christopher Nolan's filmmaking ability at its peak. It's not my favorite Nolan film, but without a doubt, this is his best film. My top 10 films of the year. Let me know what your guys' top 10s are. And yeah.